Welcome once again to 3 Up and 3 Down on the Sweet Lou Sports Channel. For those of you not familiar, tonight we will tackle the Sunday night football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. I will give you 3 picks for the Draftkings main contest this evening. 3 picks that are on the 3 up side of it, which are players I believe you should pay up for. And then 3 down players, which I believe are going to hit value a little bit easier. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. Just so you know, I am a retired sports writer. I'm also a fantasy guru of sorts. I've taken down 3 major DraftKings contests in the last 5 years. But we are a new channel, so if you would hit like and subscribe, I would absolutely appreciate it. And also, if you have any lineup questions or any questions about sports whatsoever, if I get them before 8 o'clock tonight, regarding today's game, I will answer all of them. After that point, I've got to bear down and take care of my teams. For those of you that were here yesterday for the college football DFS picks, I hope you took all of them. Outstanding picks, 6 of them. 3 of them hit 3 times value. 1 hit 4 times value. I've already heard back from a few people that made money on that, so hopefully we can continue this today. Having said that, I will tell you, I've been playing a lot of DFS for probably 2 decades or more. And I've been playing a lot of single game slates as it is tonight. I don't recall a more difficult game to try to prognosticate than this one. First of all, the over and under is 40 points and the Jets are favored 2.5. So obviously Vegas thinks it's going to be a low scoring game. I think it very well could be. But there are so many side issues or side stories going on that it is very difficult to pick. First of all, the Steelers are starting Russell Wilson at quarterback over Justin Fields, despite the fact that Fields led them to a 4-2 record. Now, head coach Mike Tomlin did hint at the fact that they both may play as well. That is going to probably lead me to fade both of the Steeler quarterbacks, probably across the board. Now, the Jets have 2 great cornerbacks in Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. George Pickens is a great receiver for the Steelers, but I will be fading him on most of my teams, as well as most of the Steelers pass catchers. If you're bold and you wanted to take a flyer, maybe take a shot at Calvin Austin, who's only 2,400 for the Steelers. And if you think that Vegas has it wrong and it's going to be a higher scoring game, then you can afford a lot of players that are near the top of the board if you take Austin at 2,400. Now, if you look at the Jets side of it, they just picked up Davante Adams. Rodgers now has 2 former Packers, and Davante Adams and Allen Lazard. Not to mention Garrett Wilson, who has the highest target share in the NFL this year. Somebody's going to suffer. Somebody's probably going to suffer a little bit in each game. Now, I do believe that Rodgers is going to try to showcase Adams early on, welcome him to the team. Possibly even throw to him in the red zone. He'll be on some of my teams, but he's not going to make my list for today. There are no major injuries. Cordarrelle Patterson is out for the Steelers. Tyler Conklin, the tight end for the Jets, is questionable. I have a feeling he's going to play, but if you're going to pick up Conklin, I would check on that status an hour before the game. Check out the inactives, make sure he's there. Under normal circumstances with 2 good defenses, I take a look at what their weakness is, and the Steelers aren't the greatest against tight ends, but with Adams now in the fold, I'm not sure there is enough footballs to go around for Conklin to remain relatively involved. Now, we go to the 3 up. And again, I preface this by saying it has been extremely difficult to try to pinpoint, especially in the upside of it. I think there's a lot of players on the lower end of the salary cap that are going to be good, and they're going to be the keys tonight. But on the 3 up, I am going to go with a Jet wide receiver. and it's not Davante Adams or Allen Lazard, I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. His 29% target share is going to drop with Adams on the team. However, I see him playing a lot more in the slot in this game and going forward. He is one of the most difficult players to cover for cornerbacks. Having him start in the slot a step behind the offensive line makes him even harder to cover. I think he finds open space. Even if it's not Rodgers' first look, I think you're going to see him hit Wilson on a lot of throws over the middle that could go for big yards. Garrett Wilson is 9,200. And again, the prices I'm giving you are for the flex position on DraftKings. If you want to play them at the MVP, you're going to have to pay 1.5 times that price. Next up, we're going to have running back Breece Hall, also of the Jets, who is the highest priced player on the slate at 10,400. Last week was the first time this season with Todd Dowling calling plays for the Jets, and Hall got 23 touches. He also catches the ball out of the backfield. This is not an easy matchup. Steelers' run defense is very good, but the fact that he's such a good pass catcher and that Dowling's offense kind of forgot about backup running back Braylon Allen last week leads me to believe that the touches are going to be there for Breece Hall. And finally, and this was a tough one because there's a lot of people to pick from, especially on the Jets side of the ball, as far as skill position players. But I figure if I'm going to play Garrett Wilson, and I believe Davante Adams is going to be targeted in the end zone, I'm going to have to go with Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback for the Jets, at 9,600. It's a risk. Rodgers has not hit 20 fantasy points yet this year. But it's a risk I'm willing to take on this kind of a slate. Now on the 3 down side, players that I believe are underpriced and could hit value very easily. And number one, we're going to start off with the Jets defense at 4,200. Uncertainty at quarterback for the Steelers. Not a proficient offense to begin with. The weather's going to be perfect today, so that's not going to be much of an issue. But tonight, I thought about putting Steelers running back Najee Harris in as my 3-up players. But my problem with him is that he has a tough time breaking tackles, and he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield a lot. And I have a feeling the Jets are going to dominate the trenches and control this game defensively. Next up, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, kicker Chris Boswell at 5,200. It's a low-scoring game. It's perfect weather. Points are going to be at a premium, I believe, and he's a good kicker. And finally, and this goes back to my comment about Harris. If you believe in Najee Harris, go ahead and play him. Steelers are going to want to control the offense. They're going to want to keep the ball from Rodgers and those pass catchers and Breece Hall. But I'm not sure Harris can get it done. And at 4,000, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh's backup running back, Jaylen Warren. If Harris does not find room early, Warren could be the steal of this draft. He's a better pass catcher than Harris. And I'm going to have quite a bit of him tonight, especially with Cordarrelle Patterson, who is our 3rd running back, out for this evening. Again, very difficult slate. But to recap, 3-up players. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the Jets at 9,200. Running back Breece Hall from the Jets as well at 10,400. And Aaron Rodgers, 3 Jets, the quarterback, at 9,600. On the 3 down side, Jets defense at 4,200. Kicker Chris Boswell of the Steelers at 5,200. And running back Jaylen Warren of the Steelers at 4,200. Again, if you have any lineup questions, please get them to me before 8 o'clock tonight, and I'll answer them. Please hit like and subscribe. Send me any comments you want. Tell me what you think of the video. Tell me what we should concentrate on going forward. and I hope you win some money tonight.